Hi, I'm Chris Hogan. I come from Providence. I have property in Harrisville. One of the first things that I'd like to comment on is in regards to when Mr. John Nylen was a guest at the Dan York talk show. Dan York had asked him a question regarding the diesel fuel and the CO2 emissions. Mr. Nylen, you responded that stating that the power plant is a dual fuel plant so that the plant can continue providing electricity during periods of the year like the winter when gas would be prioritized to home heating. Okay, sounds good. Mr. Nylen mentioned that the plant wouldn't have even used the diesel fuel last year because the winter was so mild. And with an answer like that, Mr. Nylen, I'm sure that you put a lot of people's mind at rest, thinking that, oh, they're not going to use the diesel fuel after all for the whole year. So we don't have to worry about CO2. When in fact, I wasn't sure about the whole thing with that, and neither apparently was Dan York, because he said, oh, okay, there you go. Well, the thing is, the first year that I had wet snowball, that spring, I didn't empty the gas out of the tank. I didn't know you had to. The following fall, when I tried to get my snowblower started, it didn't stop. I had to take it to a place to have it taken care of. Apparently, gas breaks down. And so I said, well, why wouldn't that be true with diesel fuel? Well, in fact, it is. Diesel fuel has a shelf life of about 6 months to a year. In most sites that I've seen on the website, okay? And some sites said you could go over a year. Conditions would have to be perfect for the storage of the diesel fuel. Like you'd have to put stabilizer in it, a bioenzyme type thing, because if air gets in the tank, there's no air in the tank for one. If air gets in the tank, it creates water. This water breaks down the diesel fuel with a microbe, okay? And you know that. You know that. But you purposely deceive the listening public of Rhode Island and these people that are on the panel listening to this that are buying into your crap. Okay? My personal belief is your company knows damn well what they're doing. Yep. And you're going to burn that diesel fuel as soon as you can, for any reason. Because there's no way you're going to hold on to 2 million gallons of diesel fuel at your expense and say, oh, well, this year it's fine. Maybe we'll hold it for next year. We'll cross our fingers. You're wrong. You're lying. Okay? Make no mistake about it, union members. I'm a union member as well. And so many people in this audience that live in Burrillville are union members. We're all interested. We're all interested in our jobs. Okay? We're all interested in our jobs. Make no mistake, big companies don't care about the small people, and that's exactly what you are. Right. I'm just curious, Mr. Nylen, once you get this plant hooked up, what's your bonus? Also, let's talk about the fire department. Yeah. When Dan York asked you, what if a catastrophe happens? What happens if a fire happens? You gladly said, well, we're self-contained because of federal regulations. You got 25 people on that campus. How many of those people are going to respond to an emergency? You know, it's funny. Someone brought up the idea that when that pipeline burst in Pennsylvania, okay, 36-inch gas line, all right, the chief of the fire department was being interviewed, and he was pan-faced. It was the biggest explosion I've ever seen. Well, I just hope you on the panel don't live near this goddamn pipeline. 'Cause 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 they're doing. After all, they have another power plant. They're all set. And if they need assistance, they'll go next door to Harrisville because they have a fire department. You're damn right. And guess what? That's the only fire department that's a paid fire department.
Could you wrap up your time?
I will. But you know what? I own property here. I deserve more than 5 minutes. And so do these people.
Other people from having an opportunity to speak.
I'll wrap it up. All right. If Gina Raimondo recently, she said, don't complain, get in the game. Well, guess what? Rhode Island is in the game. I think that she's playing another game, though. Okay? Because Rhode Island is kind of pushing forward. What Governor Chafee, who would figure? He was trying to push initiative to make sure that clean energy, clean jobs, and everything get pushed ahead. He even said in 2014 that he hopes that these green energy, the next governor follows his initiative because he's hoping that these green energy jobs would bring more jobs. And guess what? In 2015, in your paper, okay, from let me see, the statute of General Assembly, Rhode Island statute, the state of Rhode Island Assembly. They put in a paper when President Obama had actually gone to the international conference in Paris, and he said that who would ever figure that green energy would bring about 10 times the amount of jobs than the regular economy. That's a heck of a lot more jobs than you're getting. And guess what? Under Chafee, the employment rose 6.6% for green energy jobs, okay? And that translated over 613 jobs for Rhode Island between the year 2014 2015. A heck of a lot more than what you're offering, okay? And then let me just get to this last thing because I know I'm over. Gina Raimondo said, don't complain, get in the game. Well, perhaps the governor isn't playing the same game as Rhode Island. Rhode Island is on the green opportunities game. We're building the first offshore farm in America. The first offshore wind farm. It's a 30 megawatt, 5 turbine Block Island wind farm scheduled to go online this year. All right, with the existing power plant that Burrillville has, plus the offshore, isn't Rhode Island doing enough? Isn't Rhode Island doing enough? Okay, what is enough? And then for one, Rhode Island being so small and heavily populated, in your site too, from the DEM, it says that a small amount of pollution could be more detrimental to a highly populated area, okay, where you could have a larger amount of pollution being dispersed into an area that is not as populated, like Alaska, and it's not going to do as much harm. You know, and I don't understand all of this, but it's in your DEM paper, and you should know it. All right, I'm not this professional by trade to study power plants and everything like that, but it does say that in here. It's more detrimental for a small area to have pollution like this. Okay? And your job, your duty as DEM is to protect the land, the people, and the animals, everything, the water, everything. That's your duty. So you have to stand up to Gina and tell her what we want. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this. You take that to Gina, and you tell Gina that Chris Uhlmann said, don't sell Rhode Island down the Clear River.